How you doing out there? This is JT and Spiritual Breath. Today I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about the topic of Lord, put your hand on me. I'll be coming from Matthew chapter 2, probably down to about 15. But let's go with verse 2. And it says, Behold, there came a leopard and worshiped him, saying, Lord, if thy will, thou canst make me clean. And Jesus put his hand forth and touched him, saying, I will be thy clean, and immediately his leprosy was cleaned. I want to say leprosy in this case we're using as any type of illness that affects your body, that will cause your body to fight against itself. It could be the flu, it could be mental problems, it could be self-inflicted wounds, you name it. We're just using that as a scenario of how to put this together. We want to understand that in order for you to realize or come to the conclusion that there is something that needs to be adjusted, you yourself need to do a self-evaluation. Yeah, I've been talking over and over again about having these self-evaluation moments where you yourself takes the time and analyze or assess yourself based off in your relationship with God, your connection, and how He's leading and guiding you to the point where you're saying that I need to become closer to Him. There are problems I need to address, or I need to get delivered from things that are keeping me or bringing a wedge between our connection and our relationship. In this particular passage, you're hearing that a man has identified that there is an illness that he cannot fix himself. And he's going to the one that is able to fix it. He's going to a place where he understands that this will only happen only if God will go in and fix the problem for him. With that being said, he went and he said, if it be thy will. So he's asking for permission. He's asking God to step in and to fix his situation. Have you ever seen yourself in a place where you're asking God to do something for you, or you come to a place where you need to have some help, some assistance that's a little greater than what you have power over? This is what he's there for. I mean, I believe that you can find plenty of passages in the Bible that talked about people coming in a humble state and going to God and said, please help me with this thing. We're reminded of a man who had a son that was dealing with demonic forces coming against him, and where he would throw himself into the fire. And he asked Jesus to deliver his son. There's a lady called the Canaanite lady who had a daughter who was possessed with demonic spirits, and she herself asked God to come in and help her in that situation. I'm just saying that many times that you can find in the Bible where people were looking for some help and they went to the source. You don't have to sit up here and do this alone. If you know there are things that you're struggling with, you know there's things that you need help on, try them. You tried everything else. What do you have to lose? And believe that He can do it. There are many of us who have decided that Jesus should be their all, but you don't trust Him enough to give Him your all. I believe now is the time that we have to do that evaluation within ourselves and begin to work towards getting these things fixed. Let's connect or reestablish the relationship that's needed to help us to grow in the things of God. No longer do we have to continue to do this ourselves. We can actually reach out and say, okay, Lord, help me with my unbelief. Help me with establishing I can do, will do, come to you and come down humble to you. Even in Matthew, it speaks that we should come, and he says, he with heavy laden, come unto me and I'll give you rest. We need to begin to take some of these burdens of life off in us and drop it to Him and trust that He'll fix it for us. Trust that He will make a better way for us. Trust and believing that He'll do all things but fail. We say these things, but do we actually believe it? And that's something that we need to focus on. As we go forth in the teachings that will come after this, we want to deal with self-reflection. Do self-evaluation. Look how you and your relationship, don't worry about what I say or anybody else. How do you feel about your relationship and connection with God? Excuse me. Excuse me again. What is it going to take for you to take that time out to address the relationship that you have, or to establish a relationship that you feel you need? Again, it's your field. The Bible says, search out your own soul salvation. And we need to make sure that's what we're doing. I wish I could tell you how to deprogram from all the things that people have told you or try to share with you and try to make you do as they see fit. But I think if you could take the time out to really assess how you are doing and how you're coming about, I think you'll be able to make positive decisions, and maybe decisions you make will last, especially when it comes to the things of God. Again, you'll see later on, there's another part of this passage in chapter 8 where there was a soldier who comes down and he comes petitioning on the betterment of his brother who is home vexed with illness. And he asked Jesus just to come and pray that he'll be healed. But he said his house is not worthy for him to come through. Just speak the word and he believes it would happen. That faith alone moves God. You have the same faith. You got to begin to speak things into the atmosphere. Speak things into change. Speak things that you believe that can happen and stand firm on it, and it shall come to pass. He says you have not because you ask not. And we need to start teaching ourselves to begin to ask God for those things. But understand when you're asking, you have to make sure that you're in the right place and the position with Him, that these things can come to pass. I'm just saying you don't have to be perfect, but strive for perfection. This was just a quick nugget with me and you. I just want to encourage you to keep pressing forward and do those things that you can do. And those things you can't, seek help. All right, till we talk again. Have a great